Sometimes dead is better.
Ho ho ho! Welcome to give me back my horror movies. Oh wee wee! Ho 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 ho! On this very special edition of a French version of Give Me Back My Horror Movies.
The hell was that?
He's doing Stallone doing a bad.
No, this is just how the
French
French sound.
Dude, this is Stallone. You're lying.
No,
That's the only impression you can do. You've proved that time and time again.
Listen, a baguette, a bread bowl.
Are we covering
Red Bull?
Napoleon?
Really?
Good Lord.
Yeah.
No.
A Waterloo. A Waterloo.
I don't know what. A latrine. There shall now be known as John's. That's for everyone that understands that reference. Wow.
All right,
First I was going to yell at Pete for picking an artsy horror movie, and then you just reminded me that you picked this movie, Nate.
Fucking Nate picked it.
Yeah, I picked this. So I understand Pete's frustration of The Crow.
Oh, I
Not
haven't even started about my frustration.
A horror movie. This is not really a horror movie.
No, it's not.
I remember there being more, what do you call horror per se? There's whore houses in this.
Maybe
but
that's
not
where you got
horror.
confused.
There was a lot of whorehouses in this.
Yes. So that's
And
my bad.
Maybe
But
what you could catch was the actual horror of this film.
what's cool about our podcast is we blend the two. And this does have monsters, boobies, and kung fu, which are all things that all three of us really enjoy. So you're welcome.
Okay, so Nate, I'm going to give you a pass on this one because I think I might have something in February that also skirts the edge of horror and action.
Well, there we go. Well, we'll know come
so
February.
I'll let you go. I'll let you skirt the edge here this time because it's quite a horror movie. But this movie, I'm going to find you.
Rules. I put rules in here to save us from this stuff.
But
I don't
mostly,
know.
all I want to be is entertained, Nate, and this one did not work.
All right. Well, you're wrong there. We're just going to start out with that one. And second off, Charlie, is there a trailer that happens to be in English?
So there is.
Aha! Take that, Pete. Suck it, nerd.
Suck it.
I pick movies that actually have trailers with words to them.
Yeah, because you got lucky. For those, because we haven't said it, and I know you can see it in the title, but we're covering Brotherhood of the Wolf.
All right.
Thankfully, because this did so well overseas, where this originated from, they went, okay, we know we got to dumb it down for the Americans, so we have to put words in the trailer. So this is actually the original American release trailer.
Nice.
For Brotherhood of the Wolf. So we'll play that, and then we'll get back to beating Nate to death here in just a second.
I don't know why.
Behind a veil of riches and reason lies a mystery hidden from view, killing all that get in its way. But now, two men sent to uncover the truth are about to encounter their greatest fear. A deadly secret, a dark power, even greater than they ever imagined. Universal Pictures and Studio Canal are proud to present an ancient legend. Now, a stunning cinematic vision. The film that took Europe by storm. Christoph Gans's masterpiece. Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Yeah, that trailer kind of
That's
sets the
artsy.
mood.
It does.
That's why I was mad at Pete for a second, because I was like, "Why'd you pick this movie?" Oh, it wasn't Pete's fault.
It was mine.
Not my fault.
It's action and horror. With asterisks there.
I think there's asterisks beside both, but we'll get into it. So,
Well,
you're driving this.
Let
ship,
me
man.
take you back
Go
to
for
the
Nate.
year 2002. You have a 14-year-old Nate. You have a Nate that's in high school. He's a freshman, and he has a history teacher that has a giant box TV at the front of the classroom.
Oh, that's cool.
And what he did with teaching history, Mr. Schneider, this was, may he rest in peace now.
Aw,
He would show movies
sure.
consistently. And when we were learning, I'm guessing, about the French Revolution, he brought in a DVD of Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Okay.
This was also the same time where I was getting a shit ton of gift cards for Blockbuster because family didn't know what to get me anymore. It was just straight up like, let's just get him Blockbuster gift cards. He seems to really be taking on the movies. And Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Weird Uncle Frank didn't get you a subscription to Playboy? I mean, that would have...
No. I don't
Come
even
on,
know if
Uncle
that was
Frank.
allowed. I know, right? Come on, Uncle Frank. Creepy bastard just trying to take everyone's skin. That's all he was ever worried about.
Oh, oh my God.
Nice Hellraiser reference.
It was a good Hellraiser reference there for everyone. So, this was one of those movies that got introduced to me and kind of showed that there's more than what you would typically see at the theater. This is something never heard of, didn't really know much about foreign films, and this was kind of like the gateway for me. And Mr. Schneider was really responsible for that because that man loved to just show random foreign movies that somehow related to history. And every single one he showed, like, I was fascinated with. Now, this movie has a certain scene in it that takes place in a whorehouse that obviously he could not show.
Scene
But
plural,
let us
I would
know
think.
that scene 7 was we weren't allowed to watch scene 7. So what did my buddy Kyle and I do? Well, we obviously went and rented this bad boy that way we could watch 7.
Watch the forbidden segment. Yes.
Yes. Also, so we were just so enticed with it that 40 minutes in a classroom was not enough when you're only watching it for maybe 25 minutes. We had to know what was going to happen.
Right.
And I've owned this movie for quite a long time. It's been a while since I've watched it, but I remember the beast looking very cool. I remember the beast looking cool.
Yeah, because you're 14 years old and
yes,
stupid.
I was 14 years old and dumb.
What the audience can't see is Pete and myself both shaking our heads no quietly to Nate.
The beast has a cool concept. Has not aged well whatsoever. But no, like, as I was rewatching this, I was like, yeah, this movie still just holds a special place in my heart because of that introduction and the way that teacher was able to extend something different, especially your first year in high school when you're so used to blah, 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 blah in middle school and so forth. And yeah, getting beat up and wedgies and whatnot, that to have a teacher introduce you to different films. And like, he was actually, when he retired, he went to Best Buy, and my first TV I bought and DVD player and copy of Night of the Living Dead I bought from him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
That's
all
cool.
that was responsible for him, of me finally be able to have movies in my room, essentially.
How cool.
As a teenager.
That's a great story, Nate.
It's
heartwarming. Unlike
you.
this movie, which is a piece of shit.
This movie's fucking awesome, dude. It's got Kung Fu Dukakis, who's doing, hitting people with sticks. We got his best friend who's going to kick a bunch of ass and a lot of squishy stab effects. Vincent Cassell being diabolical and evil. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
We haven't said much yet.
I was
Yeah, I
gonna say, I
know.
ain't said shit.
So Charlie and Pete, this is their first time watching it. So go ahead and ruin my heartwarming moment, you assholes.
Well, no, I love that heartwarming moment. It made me remember one of my teachers let us watch Braveheart in class, and they didn't know about the sex scene.
Oh, that was a hot sex scene, by the way. Ooh,
it was.
Ooh, that was steamy.
Yeah.
Oh
And
God!
then-
Avert your eyes, children! Avert your eyes!
And then I forget what the question was. It was something about one of the lines, and I just shouted out, and he threw fireballs from his eyes and bolts of lightning from his arse. Had the entire class rolling because Charlie said arse in class. It was hilarious. So with that in mind, actually, that kind of goes in this. This movie kind of has a feel of Braveheart to an extent.
Yeah.
I kind of got that like epic kind of storytelling.
Epic is that's a good word.
Yeah, it's the best word I can give it.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is another instance of Pete and I were not prepared for what we were actually going to be watching.
Mm.
This truly is an art movie. This is it's very art house. It's very storytelling style of another culture. This isn't Americanized. This is a French film that made its way to America. So there's a little bit of lost in translation for us that grew up with, action movies and, Braveheart and Patriot and all this shit. And maybe if I'd have watched this, this came out in 2001, so I'd have been like 21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more, but we'll get into it a little bit deeper.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate this movie. I'll go out on and say it right now.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I don't hate it. We're going to give Nate shit, okay?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
many movies I have brought this guy, and he shits on them. And this is clearly a misfire. For it's not horror, and honestly, don't know if it actually really fits what we do here, but it's a nitpick.
It's on VHS.
Nostalgia for Nate. So
it's nostalgia.
That's where
I have the VHS. I have.
Oh, you have the
DVD.
You have the VHS. Is it a double VHS?
It is not. It's only a single. Surprisingly.
How do they squeeze that whole flipping movie
I think
on?
they started getting a better tape.
Yeah, like
to video transfer.
Okay.
I think Titanic was one of the last doubles that came.
My copy of it's one tape.
Yeah,
which is surprising.
Well, it from the TV show Tim Curry.
They eventually got it. They got it down to one later.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
I've seen it. Well, not recently, but I've seen it back whenever we could go to buybacks and shit like that. They would have like the double one, or you could get like you open that thing up and that whole VHS
nothing but tape.
It's full of tape. They're like, let's carve a little bit
if
more.
I open that thing out, it could go to this other side of the Mississippi. I guarantee it.
The plastic tape is paper thin.
You remember the zombie? You
remember
the zombies from Dead Snow 2 that they did with the intestines? That's what you would do with this tape. You could transfer fuel.
Yeah. Hey, speaking about a great movie, Dead Snow 2. So
go back and check it out.
When
also, this is pre-recorded, so I just got done editing Dead Snow 2, which was way back almost a month ago.
That's a month ago at this point.
This is a weird. We're in a weird time warp right now. We just don't know what the hell is going on. Anyway,
we're interstellar right now with Matthew McConaughey.
Every podcast episode is actually 7 months down into the future.
Right. Go check out our brand new appearance over at Flicks and Friends and Evil Deaths. That was also last month too.
Yeah, that was also a month ago.
Brand new to us though.
So much fun. So well, that's me. I'm gonna save some of my thoughts till we get into it. But
give us a little pepper in here.
I like art house films to a degree. They really have to speak to me. They got to be my thing. Usually, horror is clearly my art house choice. Drama is not so much. This has a lot of drama in it. It's gorgeous. This film is just gorgeous. The French countryside is jaw-dropping. Why
was everything neon green at the beginning of this
I don't
movie?
know about that. I don't know.
I don't.
Very colorful.
What did you guys watch it on? Tubi?
I watched it
No,
on Tubi because it was
I
dubbed.
got a Blu-ray from the library.
See, so that's the one complaint. I didn't know it was on Tubi. I wish I did because I popped into the DVD. It obviously has a very grainy
Yeah.
picture to it. Today I popped it on Tubi just to see. I was like, "Holy shit, this
Oh,
is
was the color
gorgeous."
weird? Oh, it was
Uh,
gorgeous. Okay.
Yeah, on Tubi because it's the high def. It's the Blu-ray version. And
Yeah.
it's just like,
There's a
damn it.
4K out now, I think.
I
too.
I
It
intend
deserves it.
to I intend to
Yeah.
pick up the 4K.
As far as
at
the
this point.
sweeping
But-
landscapes are concerned, it was beautiful.
I swear it looked like they spray painted all of the grass. I know they didn't, but it was just however that color transferred onto film, it looked neon
It
green.
was shot on 35 millimeter. I know that because that's
Good Lord.
the
Then they-
4K is based on those negatives.
Maybe that's the
Um,
green in France.
Maybe
at that
it's
time of year.
well, maybe
It
that or
could
that's
be.
just how it was upscaled.
I didn't have that in my copy. That's for sure.
Okay. Well, not on a VHS copy, that's for sure.
It's literally at the very beginning of the movie. Go turn it on Tubi for about 5 minutes. Actually, watch the beginning of this movie because I was in at
Yeah,
the beginning.
you me
So
both.
I watched.
Yeah.
I went straight to the stick fight because I want to see what this looks like in HD.
Uh-huh.
And I went, "Oh, this is badass."
Yeah. But continue, Pete. I didn't mean to.
I think I've lost my place, but well, let's see. So it was very pretty. I wasn't prepared for this stupid movie to be 2.5 hours long. I am gonna
It
I'm
flew
gonna
by
start.
for me.
I am gonna start putting my foot down on movies that are over 2 hours long because fuck that shit. Most of these 2 hour movies, it ain't worth seeing. 2.5 hours long, and it was a slog. There were so many things you could take out that would have cut it prettier, made it more concise.
Punchy.
I know some of
You
yeah, it was
punched it up a
punchier.
little
and
bit.
maybe
yeah.
that's the dumb American in me that
That is
doesn't want to
dumb American in you.
take his
I'll
time
admit that.
to get
Respect
through a
the
movie.
arts of the
But
France.
there's just, I mean, a lot of the antagonists for Lord of the Rings movies where people are like, all they do is walk. This is that movie for me. It's nothing but
Except all they do
walking.
is talk.
And
too.
talk.
It's- Oh
And
God.
another thing, I don't know who anybody's name except Manny is. When they first introduce everyone, they give their full aristocratic. Their aristocratic. Thank you. That's the word.
I
They
win.
give they give their full aristocratic title, and it is
Yeah.
10
They're
names long.
All
and I-
mouthfuls.
And they don't really say their names a whole lot through the rest of the movie, except Manny, where
And-
they're always talking about Manny.
And they kind of all look the same. I mean,
Yeah,
and this is,
yeah,
I
a
can
bunch
say
of
that about white
Caucasian.
guys.
A
White
bunch of
guys in
Caucasians
powdered wigs.
wearing white wigs. Yeah, it's
No.
it's
Vincent Castle shows up. You go, "That's the bad guy."
I know
obviously."
that guy.
pretty much. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
who I thought Matthew Lillard was. When that guy turned around a couple of times, I'm like, is that fucking Matthew Lillard? No, this is 2001. There's no way that's Matthew Lillard.
Our main character, Gregor Francois.
Gregor.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Gregor.
Yeah.
I had to look
That
up.
dude, I don't know him in anything else. I've looked him up. Nothing else. But
Really?
I love him in this movie so much.
He's got a swab.
He does.
He's
a
got
French
that.
knight.
He's got that big dick swagger. Is what he's got.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with him.
No,
I
not at all.
actually enjoyed watching him in this
And
movie.
I,
Yeah.
I like
His-
all the characters.
character arc is really great because he is a French knight who has an Iroquois. Is that how you pronounce it?
Iroquois.
Iroquois with him, played by Mark Dacascos. And these
Mark
two are
Dacascos.
they're brothers. And I believe it to a T
Yes.
because these
Yes.
two stick up for each other through everything. And they
yeah.
are a traveling pack.
And
One does
they're
not leave without the other.
they're brothers not blood, but
not by
they
blood.
are
No, but
blood
they are
brothers. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
they've spilled blood together.
Mhm.
they fought wars together. Like
I want to go ahead and say this because you get it out of the way. And I do agree with Pete. There was an issue back in the day of casting people that of a certain, ethnic background that aren't who they're portraying. But man, after I read how many different ethnicities there are in Mark Dacascos, and honestly, I think he did it. I don't think there's anyone of that nationale would be mad at his portrayal in this movie. If I'm going to be 100%,
that's one
honest.
thing he spoke French and fluent. He made sure to learn the French
learned
language
French for this
for this
Yes.
movie.
Amazing. That's wow.
He did a bunch of research on the Mohawk tribe.
Yep.
He did not take this role serious. Now,
Right.
this movie is done by the director Christopher Gans, who years prior did a movie called Crying Freeman, where Mark Dacascos was the leading man. So these two already have a history with one another, which I'm assuming also,
But
played into that. And Christopher Gans also is the man responsible for the first Silent Hill movie, and he's doing the new Silent Hill movie that's coming out next year.
okay, so he's coming back to do it. I
Yep.
didn't hate the first one, honestly.
I didn't hate the first one. The second one's terrible, but
Yeah, I don't mess with the second one.
yeah.
But I just want to say, normally you'd be like, oh man, this is really kind of kind of ruins the movie for me. It doesn't. I believed Mark Dacascos. I feel like he did it with some honor.
He truly did try it. Now, yes, should you hire someone that's not Native American to play Native American? No, don't do that. You should hire someone that's Native American to play.
Yes,
it.
When I first found out that he was playing an Iroquois, I was livid.
You were mad. You were
very mad.
In the year 2001, you can't find an actor that is of Native American descent.
Not in 2001. I was
Bullshit.
14. I had no idea and would not care.
We had movies like Dance with Wolves.
Well,
and
this is French,
and
not
Glasses
American.
French
though.
also.
No,
this is French. I mean, you do have to look at certain things of
and the
where
director had a relationship with Mark already. I get all that, but it was I was
2001. That was still back. We didn't care about certain things.
No,
like we do now.
No, you didn't live through the 80s like I did. we were woke in 2001, and looking back now, we're not.
No, that's what I think. That's what Nate's saying. As compared to now, we're not. We weren't woke back.
We sure thought we were back then. We thought we were getting our shit together.
We thought, Pete. We thought we were woke in the 80s. We thought we were woke in the 60s.
We thought we were woke 3 years ago.
1920s.
It's
varying.
It's about being human. You make progress.
All right.
Trust me, me and Nate had to talk Pete off the ledge just before he started watching this movie because he was just so on fire. But I just want to get it out of there now because that is my shining moment in this movie. Is Mark Dacascos.
He's amazing.
The performances, there's no doubt that the performances in this movie are astounding. They are
all of them,
incredibly well acted, which really, in my final thoughts, really, God, there's so much good about this movie, and there's so much I absolutely hate about this movie. And one of them is the cinematography, and the other is the acting. It's great. Everyone in this film nailed it. For their parts.
It's a stylized movie. Like, it takes style so cool. Like when I guess we need to paint the picture for the people, for the audience. This is a movie very loosely based on a real quote unquote monster that attacked the French side for a couple years.
Yes. It's a famous
whatever.
It was like 3 years and it killed 100 people.
Yeah.
It's it's a myth, not a myth.
It's a known tale, a known legend.
It's a tall tale that has a lot of reality that it's based on.
Every character in this movie, minus Mark Dacascos, is a real person.
Their name,
every
and
single
everything.
one of them. Name and everything.
Yep.
So they included Mark Dacascos, and what it is these two gentlemen, the knight and his native friend, are hired by the French government to investigate what is killing the villagers because it's putting fear into the land. And it just kind of goes from there of these two investigating it. And they're using Manny's tracking abilities and they're using Gregor's knowledge basically because he's traveled the lands. So
I think that was one of my things I was having a really hard time with at the beginning was I heard them say knight. I understood that they were charged by the king. I got Manny, but then they just kept referencing Gregor as the king's taxidermist, and he's more of a scientific. He wasn't actually hunting the monster till the end of the movie. Like he was not actively hunting it. He was only there. He was like Ichabod Crane in Sleepy Hollow.
That's exactly what he is. Like
he wanted to prove that it was a thing.
Yep.
and then maybe
yeah.
save it, or
Well,
maybe
he was supposed to bring the body back, which is happens in the middle of the movie when they make the farce. But he was supposed to go because there were the soldiers, which I immediately started this movie with questions, and Nate's trying to answer them because they fight these guys. Amazing stick fight, yet all of the bad guys that Dacascos is fighting are dressed as women. And I'm like, what is happening right now? And why
They're
don't I
French.
understand what's going on? Nate's explanation, they were French, but they do explain it later in the movie why they were dressed that way. But we can't gloss over my absolute favorite scene in this entire movie is the girl being chased by the creature at the beginning, and it's
straight up Jaws.
It's Jaws.
Yeah,
it's
wonderful.
terrifying.
Jaws in the
This is
countryside.
this
wonderful.
was the horror, but then I bust my ass out laughing when she's grabbed onto the rock, and it's as if the creature's behind the rock and we can't see what's going on, and her body goes ragdoll. It flips and bangs and bashes her all over the cliffside, and I'm dying laughing as hard as I could. It's brutal, but I was still laughing so hard. And I was like, okay, all right, this is a horror movie set in a period piece. Okay,
yeah,
I'm in. And then I got a badass stick fight. So I was like, there's the kung fu Nate was talking about. Like, if you'd have stopped this movie 15 minutes in, I'd have been like, that was the greatest movie I've ever seen from the French. This is badass. I want one of those coats they had that literally cover your entire face except your eyes.
Oh, it's so
like,
badass.
Why weren't they dressed like that the rest of the movie? They
all look like...
Outside of Darth Vader, is there a badder ass coat out there?
They all look like Bloodborne characters. For anyone that's played that game, they're Bloodborne,
right?
But like,
well, it was kind of like
demons.
It was kind of like French Shadows, just that whole you just covered your face up. But I was in. I was like, damn, this is awesome. And then the talking started.
I like the talking because it's very much just everyone trying to figure out what's going on. Gregor investigating it, and like there's a scene where he is measuring the jawline. He's like, this beast has to be like,
that was cool.
500 pounds.
That's all good.
And you're just like, what is this at first? Like the
but
first
that's
time
very much another Jaws scene. That was what's
bite radius doesn't
measuring
match the tiger shark or whatever.
Yeah. So very like a lot of influence in this movie that I was totally in on. I did like, him doing that, the drawings that we got from him as he was doing
his artwork, his sketches,
his artwork drawing of the creature that they were handing around to everyone. Is this what you've seen? Is this what
he was a police sketch artist before there was a thing, and someone that had seen the creature was describing to him what it looked like, and he drew this horrific, terrifying,
it was pretty awesome,
werewolf-ish thing, and frankly it was pretty close to what the creature turned out.
And these are all
sort of
peasants as well that they have to go off the word of, which we're dealing with very uppity, rich upper class rulers, and
there's a lot of haves and have-nots in this
they're
movie.
They're racist, they are horrible human
elitist
beings all around,
classist. I was gonna say, but elitist.
That's a good one. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It fits. That's this where this is a period piece, so you have to show all of that.
All that didn't bother
it has
me.
to be shown. Because
I was in, and I was
accurate.
Honestly, I'm in for a lot of the dialogue. Like, obviously, there has to be something to explain what's going on. It's just, it's been done better. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, we were just talking, they've done it better with Sleepy Hollow. It's just,
I got a couple of examples also.
period piece. Here's the thing that's terrorizing the town. How do we go about it? So I've seen it done better, but I think it's just that the French type of way of their movie making, of what he set out to make is phenomenal, because that's what he set out to make. I just was not prepared for what it was I was actually getting ready to watch.
Necessarily could be on me, but I wanted to keep it a surprise.
Hey, I don't want you ever explaining a movie to me. You know how I feel about trailers. You say, we're watching this, and I'm going to go watch it.
And to be fair, Pete and I have had 22 years to have seen this movie, so it's on us because we waited so long.
I probably passed over because
pure-
it said 2.5 hours. Like, screw this.
This was one of those. I think I remember a brief trailer during another movie and looking at it going, oh, looks kind of cool. And then maybe I've seen another trailer. I'll say it now since I'm bringing it up. I have seen that in fight and I had no idea what it was from. I have seen
with the extended sword.
Yeah, with his face painted and everything.
Don't get me started on
fight.
that fucking sword.
No, that sword is awesome because reason
No,
number
it's
2
not.
of this movie being that perfect time, Soul Calibur 2 came out on the
I know
GameCube in
all about Soul
2002,
Calibur.
and it had an extended sword. So to know that a movie had the weapon from Soul Calibur 2, 14-year-old Nate, mind blown. It's the coolest thing ever.
It's not.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, the only like I love Pete's just like done. He's like, oh my God, Nate, you idiot.
I love you, Nate.
It's awesome.
I
The
wanna
sword
sit on
goes
you, though.
out,
No,
and then it comes back.
I'm not
so
sure
did
you
you guys
understand physics.
I don't care about physics. I'm not a mathematician. I care about being, is that awesome or not?
I'm a movie magician.
Yeah.
Magician?
Wow.
Mortician?
Help me. Charlie, go.
So did we all watch the dubbed version or was
Yeah.
I watched a dubbed version because again, I keep bringing it up. 2.5 hours. Nope. I'm watching the dubbed version.
So I had it dubbed and subtitled just in case there was.
I almost always watch
same.
the subtitle version
Right.
just because I get it gets muddled up in my brain a little bit, and sometimes I miss.
Did
what people
anyone else
say.
have an issue with the voice actress for what's her name, Mary or whatever?
Is this the
one
whole?
the one he's infatuated with,
Contessa,
the sister.
Yeah,
The sister. She
Not
sounded like she was a 60-year-old woman.
a
Like
60,
she did not.
60?
Yeah, 60.
Well, once again, they are French. I need to really make sure you understand this.
No,
I
this
don't
was the
think the-
American dub.
Yeah, the American dub was not French people. Okay.
No, but
So-
it's American people pretending to be French people.
well, then
And
they
we
only
assume
found
that
a
they're all
60. They only found a 60-year-old.
I gotta say though, as
English
far as
teacher.
dubs go, this one's got a pretty good
It wasn't
dub
bad.
performance.
She was the only one that caught me off guard because I'm expecting a very, younger woman
Oh yeah,
voice. Because honestly, I mean, I'm sure if this was like true period, the girl couldn't have been no more than maybe 17 or 18. She's portrayed as like
probably
20.
younger than that. I mean, in reality, she was
and
probably in
that's
the
what I'm saying.
14, 16-year-old.
In the reality of it, I'm sure that's what it is.
Mhm.
But don't make her sound like she smokes a pack every week at least.
Boy,
That's
that
She's
is
seen
not
a
the
few
impression
things
I
in those-
got. That's
Oh,
hilarious.
God.
I kind of want to go back and watch it now to see.
yeah.
Hey,
Just
how you doing, sexy?
just
look
look at
over there.
Look at her face, and then close your eyes and don't look at her, and then go, "That's not her talking," because that's how I was.
Gregor, I love you, baby. Look what you've done to the place. Manny, you're over here too.
And come on, the French. Seriously, guys, if you want a mystery movie, your villain cannot look like the villain the second he
Immediately see him.
appears on screen.
I'm like,
Oh,
I
what? So
called
Vincent
it.
Castle can't get casted anymore in anything?
All I know is as I'm watching this and I'm going, oh, this is kind of supposed to be like this, like mystery, like because I get it. They're showing the person controlling the demon has an arm, and
Yeah,
he
the
doesn't have an arm.
the guy with one arm can't possibly
Hey,
be the
It,
bad
right.
it couldn't be him. All right.
It could
14-year-old
be.
Nate, mind blown. All
Here's
right.
the
Sure.
problem.
guy. Again,
14-year-old Nate.
1408 is dumb.
They didn't even give us a red herring in this movie. There's not one person that you're going, maybe it's them. No, I'm going, it's that dude right
It's
there.
clearly him. Shoot him. His face is weird. Just kill him instead.
I
He
was
tr-
just
He tries to double down where he pulls out this one-armed blunderbuss, right?
that was actually kind of cool. It was almost
It
like
was
a
very
ram's
cool,
horn.
but they doubled down on, okay, it's not this guy. No, don't look over here. It's not this guy. Look, he's got a gun that's made for
Clearly
one
can't
arm.
be him. He has one arm. The guy controlling the beast has two. He keeps pointing with the left arm. The arm the other guy happens to be
did.
missing.
They do
So-
keep showing. They're really letting you know this other
I
guy
can
has
use
an
this arm.
arm.
Yeah, this other guy has 2 arms.
What?
Clearly not the guy with 1 arm. Don't know what you're talking about.
I was just like, I need to somehow believe there might be someone else. Now I get there's like a whole cabal involved,
Mhm,
and I was
mhm.
like, okay, that's kind of cool.
Oh, that
Because I was actually
everybody.
starting to get a little irritated at the movie because I was like, damn, that's a pretty bad like plot hole because this movie obviously knew like, okay, we've had too much talking. Manny needs to fight someone again. So he starts fighting these random looking barbarian looking dudes for no
They're-
reason.
They look like people from North of the Wall, the wildlings.
They do.
from
They
Game
look
of
like
Thrones.
wildlings.
But they have
well
Absolutely.
done. Yeah.
Wall.
Yeah, they have the Vega from Street Fighter claws.
Yeah, that's what it is.
exactly what
They
they're
have
fighting
Vega
with.
claw.
And I was like, okay, that
Well, it
was
start-
weird.
It
Why are they
started out
even
as a
there?
friendly contest, and then these fuckers
Right.
pull out claws. Like, whoa!
That's
And
what
then
the
they-
wildlings do.
And then they tried to make Vincent out to be the not bad guy again because he shoots one of them in the
Uh-huh.
arm. And then when we find out that there's a monster, all these guys know about the monster. And I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. They were among the people a minute ago to go hunt this thing. Now they know about it. They're watching a dogfight with the demon monster.
They're leading them
And-
astray. They're don't go
Yeah.
this way.
It
Don't go that
wasn't
way.
till the end where it's revealed that it's this big group of people that I went, oh, so they're all in on it. But I was
All of
literally
them.
just getting like, what is going on? Which means I've talked about the monster, Nate.
Yes.
Oh,
Nate,
Oh, Nate.
Nate.
It's done by
Nate.
Jim Henson's workshop.
No, the puppet was, but
The
that
puppet.
CG can
Dude,
go to
that's-
hell.
That CG
All right,
looked
guys.
like the
All right,
relic.
guys.
Hey, Charlie, have you ever seen Reptilian, the Young Gary remake, and how didn't look like it was finished,
Yep.
and the color was off, and the shading was off, and it's all off, and as it's walking across, you couldn't have had a
It's-
worse rendering.
I
It's
have
like
absolutely zero defense, Your Honor, on this.
You better
Exactly.
not.
Zero.
You better not. Because I
It's
swear to God, it's like
bad.
they turned the contrast down on the monster
Mhm.
and cranked up the contrast on the background. And that thing shows up for the first time. And I literally went, what the fuck?
So
Yeah,
you
I
saw
it did not age well at all.
briefly you saw the face of this monster, I think right before the girl got pulled under, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, you mean in the pond? Or...
I think, yeah, in the pond. You briefly saw
pond.
it in the background. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh shit, that looks amazing, because it had all these
Yes.
spikes and claws and oh, it looked amazing. And then we saw the CG rendering of it, like
Yeah.
an hour and 45 minutes later.
I want
Ew.
everyone that bitches about the new like Thing sequel to go watch this thing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
go, at least it doesn't look like that.
Uh-uh.
Sadly,
Anything
honestly-
that Jim Henson anything that Jim Henson did was gold, and they didn't
for the
focus on it
close-ups.
enough. All the close-ups were
Like, you
beautiful.
think about this.
that's
This is
easy to do.
2001. Computers are the new best friend for a filmmaker.
I know.
So
I know,
obviously
I
they
know.
were thinking this is the way to go.
But
And
the problem
it's
is, I don't
really,
think
really
it was.
unfortunate that I don't think they had the proper team to pull that part off.
I don't think
Not
they
just the
did.
technology. I just don't think, and I'm not trying to make fun of like the French of this part, but like
No,
I just don't think they had that kind of technology compared to Hollywood,
Right.
because this is, a French production. This is not.
Right.
You can
a
say that a
Hollywood-
lot about a lot of foreign movies. How Toho had a couple of Godzilla
It's
movies where
one
they
of my
tried
complaints.
to
of
do
just,
some CG Godzilla, and it was.
I was gonna say, I
it was
just
bad.
watched Shin Godzilla for the first time, and my biggest complaint was the CG.
Well, that
I
was
was like, that's-
17. That's
It's still-
2017.
Right, and that
Right,
was
and
my
it was-
biggest complaint.
Shouldn't they have been doing better by 2017?
Yeah.
It also is a Tokyo production, and
You
they might
don't
be a
have
little
the
behind. Or
Hollywood.
they don't have the money to take the time to get it done right.
See,
I don't know.
you're not getting companies that like we're used to, like Weta, that does practical and digital. Jim
Right.
Henson
ILM.
doesn't mess with
No,
digital.
they're just practical.
They want to do practical. And look, I I was intrigued because, they found the tooth that they said, and Gregor's like, this is steel.
It's made out of
That's
steel. Yeah.
It's not a tooth. What were we up against? And then when you see the creature, you're like, oh, it's armored.
Mhm.
And I think the other issue I had was, while the puppet looks amazing on the
Yeah.
close-ups,
Oh, man.
the first good close-up of its eye, I went, well, that's a fucking lion.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and honestly, I was done with the monster from that point. And I think the movie was done with the monster at that point.
Kinda
because
was.
Now
Well,
all
no,
of a
it
sudden,
was, but it had already let you know that Vincent Castle,
right.
Vincent
So
Castle, he was in the army, he was in Africa, he had asked Gregor if he's ever came across lions before.
right.
So once you find out it's a lion, it's like, oh, of course, like he brought back a lion, and then obviously because we're dealing with whatever century this is in France, they just don't know about lions.
1750-ish.
Like they just fucking don't know.
Right, which is the main
Like-
reason he asked Gregor if he's ever seen a lion, because he would obviously be able to go, oh, that is moving like a
That does
lion.
look- yeah.
Which,
Mhm.
funny enough, this leads to another movie that Mr. Schneider had showed us during this freshman year, which was The Ghost in the Darkness.
Ah, yeah, the Ghost
Which
in the
I
Darkness.
absolutely
cool.
love that movie too, because it's
That's
two people
that is a
hunting
good
a
movie.
monster
Mhm.
that is actually a lion.
Just
Like,
happens. Yep.
Right.
Um,
No, it's, I haven't watched that in forever.
I know.
I think I've seen that once, and that was like the
Yeah, I've
first
only
time.
watched it once, and it was a rental for sure when it came
that
out.
math.
Yeah.
That math
it's
works.
so good though. So yes, that
I crack
part
myself
does
up.
unfortunately suck. You do also get the reveal that he has a handler and he's wearing like a cult-esque mask and robes.
Yeah,
has
the mask
arm.
looks stupid.
It
I was
does.
like, man,
He looks like a frog.
But
like
what I
why not like a metal mask or something
Yeah.
that looked like a dude but maybe had some kind of spikes. It looked like he had just brought back a mask from Africa is what it
basically,
looked like.
that's probably what it was alluding to. But I do
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that after this interaction that Gregor has with the monster, that the next scene is him and Manny just like arming up their blunderbusses and weapons and everything, going, all right, well, we're going to get something that's a little bit different, so we're going to shoot the fuck out of it.
Pretty much.
I did like that. It was very James Bond Q moment where you get to see
Yeah.
all the weapons
Let's
being
try
used.
this. Let's try that.
The one dude that's like the dude that's rocking probably the greatest like 17th century mullet I have ever seen in my life. Like MacGyver wanted that mullet. That's
It's a
exactly
strong
what he
mullet.
Oh my god! And he's got a crossbow that like shoots through everything. And Gregor like looks at him and goes, "Yeah, I think that'll work, man." You know?
but only you are going to use it, right? The joke,
Right.
The joke was, I don't want to touch that thing. That's all you.
No. So
But
and I
they're
love how
shooting pumpkins left and right, and they're
At
making pumpkins look like
the house.
these gory things of just like
this is the
splattering
glorious part of
all
the
over.
movie.
It kind of
This
is. Yeah.
There's a
the
lot-
glorious.
pumpkin
Like these pumpkins
casualties.
bleed. Like there's one shot that goes just makes a hole in a pumpkin and it oozes
Yeah.
guts out. Like what kind of a pumpkin do you grow in France?
It's
that
like it
oozes?
was under pressure, and he
Yes, right.
just push it out through there. And I gotta say, I loved how everything looked period correct. But if I have a complaint about Manny at all, I hated that tomahawk he's throwing.
Oh, I love that tomahawk.
It looked
It's wrong.
fake.
It's badass, but it's wrong.
It's wrong. It would have been fine if maybe that was just one of many he carried with him,
Mhm.
but they make that out to be like his main one, and it just, dude, when they do the close up on it, when he throws it into the the pumpkin thing, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, it looks styrofoam. And when you're throwing it, you can't tell it's got all that curve to it and the spikes down the back. And I was just like, dude, I would have rather just had a badass tomahawk, like 2 or 3 of them, and he's going around just, annihilating shit in front of him.
Charlie
It's
is
a
the
it's a
axe
small-
expert.
But I'm the
He
axe
is.
guy.
I know
okay?
you are.
So-
That's why
But
I'm
I
giving
love
you
that
your
axe.
credence.
I think it looks so cool.
I don't know, man. We might actually have to make a
Well,
poll on that one because
I feel like we should take a commercial break, then get to the hunt, and then kind of where everything picks up.
Wait,
Okay,
we're not
we
done
can-
yet? I thought we were done.
No,
it's
it's
a-
2.5
it's a-
hour long movie.
I know
Right.
it's 2.5 hours long. I watched the movie.
Don't go away. It could be a grave mistake.
It's perfect time to hit that.
Just how drunk are we gonna get?
Welcome to Good Beer, Bad Movie Night, where each month we drink finely crafted brews while watching terrible films in order to see just how drunk you have to get to enjoy them. So tune in and join Troy,
Kilroy Kreitz.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
Dave,
I have the weirdest boner.
and Pete. IPAs are ales, meaning they are bottom fermented. Excuse me, they are top fermented. I that up. Try that again. As we drag Kathleen,
Hear me.
kicking and screaming through an alcohol-fueled podcast dedicated to movies of questionable quality and the frosty adult beverages that help make them tolerable. Good Beer, Bad Movie Night. Clearly, it's the beer's fault.
Hey, Dad!
There's a new hero in town, and to stop the evil Lord Duminox from taking over the world, you need a soldier with the right tools for the job. Blast into action with the new Shadow Cruiser. When Duminox attacks, Lone Wolf strikes back.
Party's over, Duminox.
He's bigger, tougher, and more determined than ever.
Cool!
He's a hero that was bred for action, but the evil Lone Wolf. Everybody dies alone, just surrender to the void and burn into infinity. Just a sexy little guy fucking walking around.
Lone Wolf figures each sold separately, box not included.
Don't let the commercials bug you. We're back.
I have no idea what that is.
What on earth was that?
So I typed in.
Would have buy
wolf-
everything of that.
I typed wolf toy commercial, and this dude made a fake toy commercial of Lone Wolf, and it is the worst, like cobbled together looking like somewhat Chuck Norris wearing a cowboy hat. It has a gas can in its hand, and he's fighting another baddie that is just like a bunch of build-a-figure pieces strapped to its back.
Sure.
And it's kids playing, and there's like plastic blocks, and then it's all of a sudden you're gonna die alone in the void, and the blocks start turning into blood.
Oh no.
And then it's like he's just a sexy motherfucker or some shit like, and I'm just like, this is the greatest thing ever. And then at the end it goes plastic blocks not included, and I was like, oh my god. I have to put that in. It's been on YouTube for like 6 years. I don't know who the dude is. God bless your commercial making ability.
Let's reach out to that guy.
And it totally had a random ass vehicle that makes no sense to the story come flying through. I was sold, and I went, that honestly, if I'm going to get a Gregor and a Manny action figure, I want it to be by this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, there's our wolf commercial, because I think that was
Nice.
another thing I was a little like, I don't want to say disappointed. I guess just I wasn't managing expectation. I was like seriously thinking this was like a werewolf movie.
Yeah, that's
Like,
I'm right there with you, Charlie. I was like, okay, Brotherhood of the Wolf. This looks this looks like a werewolf movie.
Yeah.
Nope, not really.
And you
No,
know,
I
I had
mean-
just
We
Go ahead.
got a modern day telling of the Hound of Baskerville is what we got.
That's what I was gonna say. It always to me reminded me of the Hound of
It's
Bakersfield.
so Baskerville. So I wonder if the Hound of the Baskerville. I wonder if Arthur Conan Doyle didn't take some inspiration from this tall tale from France
I'd
to
imagine
create the Hound of
so.
the Baskervilles, because that's kind of I've seen a lot of the Hound of the Baskerville makings, like the old ones from the 40s, and then there's been a couple of modern day tales. Doctor Who, the David Tennant years, there was a I think it was called the Hound of the Baskerville, where they told a story where this exact thing happened, where they had this this overly large dog, and it was tortured and trained to do a job, and then it was armored and was sent off to do its owner's dirty deeds.
I definitely think there's some influence for that. The other influence I kind of got from this was some Beowulf, some creature that's
a
going
good
through
point. Yeah.
wreaking havoc, and you need a hero who has been sent to,
You're just going way back in time, man. That's great. That's a great reference.
No,
you're
Charlie
not
loves
wrong.
that stuff, man.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not like the movie Beowulf is really cool. I love watching that one. The CG
Is
with
that
everyone,
all
but
CG though?
Yeah.
every bit of it was CG, live acting
That's
CG'd
why I
over.
never saw it.
Oh God,
It's
dude,
worth it. It's cool.
Is
it
it?
totally is.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
pretty cool.
Angelina
Angelina
Jolie. Oh,
topless in it a lot?
yeah, but you don't see anything, but she is
Damn it.
topless. She's she's the mother of Grendel. But no, I was getting a lot of Beowulf vibe, which could lend itself, because that's quite possibly the oldest story known to man, that
It's
the French even have a little bit of an influence from that in their original telling of the real creature.
And
But
then
I was getting that, yeah.
our movie has a little bit of Predator influence, because when it
sure.
comes to the hunt, they're definitely doing a bunch of trapper traps.
Manny sets predator traps in this
He
movie,
does.
and I
He
was
sets
totally
a log
in for it.
Oh,
with
that's the
spikes
scene
in
we're
it.
talking about. Okay, I love
Yeah.
that, but how long would that take to set up?
while.
Oh, a long time, and it's like
A
only
while.
a day that they have to set up. I don't
It's
know.
like-
It was-
Manny's that good, dude.
no, they would
Well-
need cranes and back.
Arnold didn't need cranes.
Yeah,
He had
you
it
don't
all
need
down in the
cranes. You just need
jungle.
brute
But it's
strength
Arnold.
and
I mean,
determination.
And there were 3 guys there. No, I did get that, and I do like, this is when I got kind of back into the movie. Because what they've done so far is the king is there's a subplot in this movie that just, I guess, went completely over my head for the most part. There's a book that's being spread around that is against the King of France.
a
And
plot point that didn't need to be addressed.
I didn't understand it. And that's what this whole cabal is. They're the people that have wrote this book, even though no one's like admitted who's wrote it.
Well, they're wanting to
They're
bring
getting-
Christianity to
It's
it's something like that.
It's an anti-government book. And they're
It's an
trying to ban it.
anti-government. It's an anti-Catholic,
It's-
because they're
I thought
somewhat
it was
Christian.
pro-religion. Also pro-Christianity.
I
Yeah,
think it's
Christianity and
against the
Catholicism doesn't
establishment.
always get along. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, because I'm pretty sure, what was it they said? It was something like, I can introduce you to the Pope or something like that. I can't
Yeah.
They
remember.
glossed over it so fast. I
Yeah.
would imagine that the French probably know
Now-
what this book was.
Pete would
And-
not like this, but there is a
Mhm.
director's cut that's a half hour longer that
Jeez,
dives
what?
into
Right.
this. Yeah.
What?
Apparently, the director's cut goes further into the politics at play. Hey, I didn't make you guys watch the director's cut. I haven't seen it either.
I wouldn't have
I'll-
watched the director's cut.
Look, I will only watch it if it explains the fucking end of this movie to me.
Oh, I'm so mad. I'm so
That
mad.
we'll
We haven't
get
got there yet.
'cause
We got to talk about
Pete
the
and I
predator
are
hunt.
mad.
I'm not there yet. I get
We
that.
got to
Well,
talk about the
I-
predator hunt.
I
Predator
wanted,
hunting.
I wanted to lead up to the predator hunt, because what happens is the king finally just goes, hey, here's my best military dude. Go out there and just kill this fucking thing.
Mhm.
And what we find out is even the king's kind of in on this. Go out there and make the people think we killed this thing.
Yep,
This is
that's
the
exactly
literal
what he
scene
does.
from Jaws. Go catch the
Mhm.
biggest shark. Tell everyone that's the one that was killing everyone. Make them all
Don't
happy.
worry
And they
about
make
nothing.
Gregor taxidermit to be similar to the pictures of what's been described.
It's got
Really cool looking. The
red
black
fur.
and red.
Yep.
Yeah.
He,
It's
he,
this giant wolf, but he's pissed off because he's like,
It's a
this is
oh,
it's
he's
still going to
totally
kill
mad.
people.
Well,
You know?
he's still going to kill people, and now he's the accessory to the
lie.
the crime, to
Yeah.
the
Right.
lie. Right.
But
he
now-
now knows that this is a lie, and it's his reputation
and
that is besmirched or will be. Could
and
be.
they know the deaths are going to keep coming, but they're
Mhm.
suppressing that getting out.
Well,
So-
didn't somebody in the government say that? Don't worry, none of this will get out of that village anymore.
Yeah,
even if
that's
the
what they're
killings
saying.
Continue.
Don't
none of this
ever
information will
talk
get out.
about
Don't worry
that
about it.
town. Don't, like, basically they're going to eliminate
They're going to
the knowledge of that town.
every bit of news coming out of that community.
So Manny and Gregor get convinced by Mullet Dude to go on one final hunt. Also because during all of this, Gregor's trying to bone down the bad guy's sister while also boning down one of the main prostitutes at the whorehouse.
Okay,
But she's a spy who works for the Pope.
But we don't know that till
like
the end. So
are you with us, audience? Do you understand what's going on right now? There's a monster. There's a whore that works for the Pope as a spy. The bad guy has a little sister that Gregor wants to bang.
Better.
She literally tells him, "Draw me like one of these French women." And then my favorite cinematic scene in this entire movie is the camera going across her naked body. And as it got to the Grand Tetons that are her boobs, it turns into the Grand Tetons.
It is the greatest cinematic transition to ever be filmed.
I
You're like,
what is more? I'm like,
what is
this? Is ridiculous.
What is as beautiful as a woman's body? Scenery.
If you've never seen the movie Role Models with Sean William Scott, and you got the little kid that's infatuated with boobs, and he goes, "Don't think I haven't noticed those hills over there look exactly like boobs too," and the kid's like, "They do," and that's exactly what I'm doing.
It's one of my favorite jokes from the Naked Gun movie, where everywhere I look, there's something that reminds me of her, and it's one of those like boob-looking buildings where it's a water treatment plant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I just
the transition into the two hills that are her lovely lady lumps.
One of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen.
It's
somebody won an award for that shit. I guarantee
that is.
I'm not directing this if
art.
I can't film this because this is a deal breaker. This is gonna happen. And that's
if I don't get to film my booby mountain, I walk.
They went, "We're going to Cannes. We literally need to film this because it's Cannes."
If this was the Cannes, Cannes would love it. Because Cannes, I see what you did there, son.
See? I'm clever. So
picture though is a bunch of college nerds at their film school writing a bunch of thesis of how the land and the boobs and what it all metaphorically means. It's like, nah, man, boobs are just cool, just like land.
They're great. Everybody loves boobs.
they're just
Oh,
like
I
I
love that scene
wanted,
so
you know, you just want to take a Hot Wheel across it and just yeah.
I want to take a tech deck and do a kickflip.
A what?
The little finger skateboard.
Yeah, the finger skateboards. Or I want to do like Armageddon and have animal crackers.
Fingers on a skateboard? I don't understand what that is.
You don't know what finger skateboards are?
No, I had a real
Yeah, dude,
skateboard.
you could grind with your fingers.
No,
like they're
you can't grind with
Yeah.
your fingers.
Yeah.
You got a YouTube.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you got
decks
YouTube
later.
tech decks. They're cool.
Yeah.
You could
Oh,
change
they're
out the
cool.
trucks and the
Learn
wheels.
how to skateboard.
No, your
They
fingers can
still
do it.
sell them.
Yeah.
You can still get them.
You can still buy them.
Yeah.
God,
Tech decks are huge, dude.
I'm old.
Okay, now we're back to the Predator fight.
Now we're back to Predator Hunt.
Yeah.
So
Predator
the
fight's cool.
CG monster comes down and you go, oh, that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
That looks so bad.
Now it's in daylight. This looks worse.
It does.
I
And
think
it
this movie
cuts.
is the reason all CG after it went to rain and darkness.
That's probably to hide it because they realized we
hide all
can't do
this
what
shit.
they did. It's all in
Yeah.
the daylight. And the worst part was they would literally cut between computer, puppet, computer, puppet, and it just does not
A better,
work.
a better
doesn't.
director would have cut it so smoothly and so sharply that you could have used the puppet for everything.
A better director would have been like, less is more.
Yep.
We don't need the CG monster.
And
You
they'll
don't
make
need
the
to
monster
see-
scarier.
Full
Yep.
body, yeah, absolutely.
You could have just done the front torso of the monster. You could have had it in a couple of pieces with maybe one full body stand-in that's not quite as animatronic. There was 100 ways to do this, but I guarantee it's because, well, we have to show it climbing down this mountain. We have to show it jumping and lunging at people. And I'm like,
To show
you don't.
how
In daylight.
mighty it is and how big it is. Now, the thing that's cool though is the traps that are set, the swing log with all the pokey stickies that want to
Yeah.
hit it, the gate that they have set up to trap it into
that
this,
it gave
ravine.
zero fucks about. When
Yeah,
they
and
did-
it destroys
wrong.
everything, and you get to see what its armor looks like, and that only helps it Manny throws his tomahawk at its head and it just sticks into it. Like,
Yeah.
The armor prevents it from getting
Actually,
And this-
like I think it wounds it, but he doesn't like
hurt
kill it.
but
Yeah.
didn't injure it really.
and all this does is lead to a badass fight scene where after the monster escapes, Manny decides to go after it,
Yeah, he tracks it.
discovers the cult of like where the beast is being
Yeah, this
held.
is like a cult thing. You're right, Nate. Yeah.
And he just starts kicking everyone's ass, and they all have Vega claws, and I mean he's cutting
Well,
people's
he
arms
gets-
off.
He gets
throwing
trapped.
them.
He gets I don't know.
He's surrounded.
He gets
Yeah.
surrounded. There's the
But
word.
he is
Oh, fuck.
beating ass the entire time.
And then
While
he gets one
showing
little strap-
ass the entire time.
and,
Yeah,
He's
he
fighting
is.
in a
He's
thong.
got that super sexy Native American
Loincloth.
loincloth on, and I'm all.
Well,
for
there's
it.
a thong underneath that loincloth too, because you saw Martin DeCosco cheeks.
I saw everything.
And what I was upset with is that picture didn't transition into like a rock cliff of those, granite.
Just a huge bulge is what it
Just-
turns into.
Just
A
zoom
boulder.
in on those
Yeah.
ass cheeks, and then the granite from the mountain is right in the next shot for those rock solid butt cheeks. Oh my God.
Oh, Mark.
But
Goodness.
sadly,
You-
Manny gets shot in the back while he's beating ass.
Bitch
Yeah,
move, man. I
Yeah.
was
It is a big move.
pissed.
They knew they couldn't take him, so
Yep.
they
They knew he was
They
unstoppable.
shot him, and so one of my, I got it. I get it. I get who this woman is. She's so this the first. Manny saves this gal in one of the opening scenes, right?
Yeah,
She's
from the
witch.
soldiers dressed as women.
The-
Yeah.
Her father, the healer, I think is what they called him, was the animal trainer.
Yes.
Am I understanding this?
Yeah,
so
he's
far?
the caretaker. He's
right.
kind of like the Rancor keeper
Rancor,
from Return of the
exactly.
Jedi.
So his daughter is this witch, and I guess she has a seizure at one point. I didn't. Quite
She has a
understand what the
legit
fuck that was.
seizure because he's
Yeah.
screaming. She's not.
She's
not
okay.
possessed. She's not
just having a
possessed.
problem.
Yeah, she's
But
not
that
cursed or something
gal-
like that. Yeah.
That gal is the sexiest gal in this entire film. However,
Her eyes.
However,
Yeah.
don't marry this woman. You go to bed with her and you run the fuck away because she's crazy.
But
Like,
she was wasted in this movie. They literally try to set up like
exactly.
this connection between
There-
her and Manny
Yes,
because they
yes.
keep showing it like there's this attraction or
There's
this.
some animalistic
There's
vibes
an
going on
energy.
between them, and I don't mean Manny's an animal, but there is every once in a while
There's
you'll meet
something there.
somebody and they're like, oh, you're
And they do
exactly what
nothing
I
with
need
it.
tonight. They don't,
Nothing
and
with
that's-
it.
So when
It's criminal.
when he encounters her at this final fight, he's swirling and twirling and killing people left and right, and all of a sudden she's in front of him and he pauses.
Which is
like-
what gives them the chance
he
to
pauses,
shoot him. Yeah.
like, what are you gonna kiss me? Are you gonna help me out here?
I think it was
Are
just
you finally
recognizing.
going from heel to hero and helping me out in this. No, she just stands there. He's not sure what's happening, and bang, he's dead.
Well, I think
Fuck this
it's
movie.
where he recognizes her going, wait, I saved you a couple days ago, weeks or whatever. You're in on
months.
this.
It was before winter when he saved her, and it was
Yeah.
after winter when this happened.
So I think it's just the shock of like, oh shit, like you're
Well,
in on this.
He's seen her several times. She was at the other fight.
Yeah,
the play fight that turned into
Yes.
a real fight.
real
I think
fight,
that
right.
was him piecing it all together now, and then that's when he gets
They,
killed.
they just, but that
But I-
doesn't come across.
No.
They look at each other like
almost.
I don't
like,
want to say lovingly, but they just
Right.
there is
like they're gonna
literally an
run across the
energy.
field and embrace,
Yeah.
even though they're face to face. Like they're going to. It felt like they were going to embrace, and then she was going to accept him into their tribe, and then blah blah blah.
I didn't get
But-
that at all.
I
it-
did.
yeah.
I
There
did,
was
man.
a there was a lot. There was a
No, I
love thing
got
there.
the
Maybe in Manny's eyes, there was like, oh, I think you're my soulmate. Bang.
no, I got like he
Sorry, dude.
put it all together. He Sherlocked it, and now
Too
he
late.
gets too late.
He Sherlocked it as soon as he saw their hairdos. Like it's
right.
no, and don't
But-
forget they had the whole run in. Like Gregor already knew these guys were in on it because he watched the dogfight. Manny wasn't there, and Gregor come back because there's this whole thing where they kill Gregor and bring Gregor back to life.
Well, we gotta wait for that because
it's like getting ready to happen right now.
No,
We're
no.
an
We
hour
have-
into this, Nate. I'm not doing 2 hours.
No, we cannot gloss over this.
They set this up earlier in the film, by the way.
When
Beautifully.
Gregor gets Manny's body, gives him the proper burial that he deserves, and then goes on a rampage to get revenge and goes on a stabbing frenzy
It's
is
pretty-
amazing. Like,
I
'cause
don't
that's
believe
where
that Gregor is a better fighter than Manny, though, and he takes people. Although Gregor only had one person to fight at a time, where Manny was fighting like
multiple
8 people at
What I
once.
like though, Gregor is the calm, collective one. You know he's been in wars. You know he has.
Manny
this,
wasn't calm and cool. What are you
He was
talking
too.
about?
But like Gregor
He
was
was
the
chill as
suave
ice.
one. Like you had seen Manny
He's
already fight
Caucasian.
people at the
He's in his-
beginning.
He's in his home country. He can beat.
But see, here's the other thing is like Gregor's obviously a lot older than Manny because he talks about that he found him as a child.
Agreed.
My
Yep.
thought was Gregor has been training Manny,
okay.
but Manny obviously is younger, fitter.
Yeah.
You know, he
You think
has.
Gregor was training Manny, like Manny.
I
didn't come with
think
Kung
so.
Fu
I really think
grip already?
because Gregor at the end of this movie,
Yeah, he
is
does.
fighting like
You-
an,
When he
you know
Oh, okay.
a
unleashes
mohawk.
hell,
Yeah,
You're changing my
He's
mind. A little bit. Okay.
unleashing all types of fury, and it's because this whole time you've seen Manny be the one that's a fighter, and you're like, oh well, he's the brains. Gregor is
right. This
And
was
it's
like
no,
their
these
this-
two were equal in combat, and
It's the only time they did
Yeah,
really good
okay.
at subverting what I thought was going to happen and who they were. It's like now all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, like
He is a
Gregor
bad
is
guy.
Gregor for a reason
Yeah.
now. Like now
And
I get
Okay,
it.
all right.
he's
Yeah.
wearing the war
I like
paint
that.
of his brother while getting revenge.
'Cause,
And I
yeah,
mean, the
he's
man's
wearing the
throwing
exact same
knives.
war paint. It was very
There's
cool.
so
Not-
much squishy stabness going on. Like the sound effects
was
are
good,
so
yeah.
cool.
Yep.
It's he's got the bow and arrow. Like he is using
Yeah.
older techniques to be stealthy. I love it. Like I
They,
love seeing him slam people through walls, kicking them. Like
I read that
Dude,
whenever he does
slam the
the
fuck out of people, doesn't he?
the spinning blades, they put knobs on the
They were very
hilts
silly.
that he could hold in between his fingers. So when he would spin them out, they would just like spin like 6 shooters, and
Nice.
he would catch them. It was totally badass. It was definitely of its time though. This whole fight choreography. If you've never seen the movie X versus Sever Ballistic,
such a terrible movie.
it's terrible.
It's one of the worst ranked movies ever. It's so bad.
It is.
Why would you
and
watch this?
it also
We didn't
is
know at the time how bad it
like
was.
we didn't.
We didn't.
This was like damn near the start of gung fu. Like,
Did you
using
cover this
weapons.
before
as-
I came on?
No,
We haven't covered it yet.
no, I don't. We'll never
Oh,
cover it. It's
no.
bad, Pete. And it's got Antonio Banderas and Lucy Liu, and it's that bad.
No.
And
my girl.
shit, Batman.
Michael Keaton.
Joe
No, new Batman. Nolan Batman.
Schwartzman.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
He's in it.
Yeah, Christian Bale's in it.
He's in Ballistic. I didn't know that.
He's in a bunch of dumb shit.
That makes sense.
There was wait,
No, he's
What's
in
the other one?
Equilibrium. I hate
Equilibrium's
Equilibrium.
the other one. Yeah. I see they're so freaking close. They
No,
all could just
Equilibrium
be-
is the movie where everyone's like, it's better than The Matrix. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not at all. It's
No,
not
you're right.
good.
It's not. But anyway, he's awesome, but the choreography of this infight was
very much
of
is, but
2001.
For 14-year-old Nate, watching a man throw a bunch of
Or-
knives and stab people, and
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And
And I
all while
still
this
enjoy it.
all while this awesomeness is going on, we're being told a story about now the prostitute is a spy for the Pope, and she's like an officer, and she's in charge of shit. And there's like an entire like cult wearing masks, and he names them out, which I thought was kind of cool when he comes out. And he's like, I know who you are, and starts
Yeah,
naming
just
They
everyone.
points
faked his
else.
death. and he comes
Johnny,
back from the
Sarah,
dead.
Anna,
Yeah.
Bobby.
And he does a superhero landing on top of a
He
coffin.
totally does a superhero landing.
That
He
was
does
cool.
a front flip into superhero landing, then
I
pulls
do
out the
remember that.
2 short swords from his back and starts spinning them like revolvers.
Is
And
that-
he starts stabbing fools once again.
Is that
Oh,
the
it's
first
so awesome.
superhero landing though? Is that like
No, I don't think
No,
it's, I think
no.
I forget where it was. Somebody's looked it up on what the first superhero landing was.
I feel like we
Matter of
talked
fact,
about it recently.
Blade kind of does one in one of his movies, so that
he
would have been
does,
90s.
because he kind of lands and then does swish swish swish
Yeah.
with his sword, and that's just like bong.
And then it's like now it's time to reveal everything, and then the bad guy who we've all known as the bad
Was the
guy,
bad guy, yeah.
like cuts this corset off of him and goes, "What you don't realize is, aha! I have an arm. It was me the whole time." And
I
literally,
never
Gregor's
figured
like,
that out.
Gregor's looking at him like, "Yeah, bitch, I know. I
called
know
you
the
out.
whole time."
I know everything. Now it's time to die. But what he didn't
Also-
know was he had a sword that links to chains and is totally badass.
Stop. No.
A bone sword.
It's a bone sword.
Bone
I don't like
sword
it, Nate.
that doesn't even look sharp. Not
No,
to
it
mention
looks dull
that
as fuck.
this guy has now become the biggest piece of shit ever because he rapes his sister in this movie.
Sister.
While we don't have to watch it, thank you,
Thank
French,
you, movie.
for
You
not
don't
putting
have to
that
watch
in.
it, but
Yep.
it's clearly.
But it definitely
clearly
happens. And what I don't know what he actually does, but she's like on her deathbed at the end of this movie. Like, did he poison her and we didn't see it? Maybe it's in the director's cut. I don't know.
She doesn't want to live after he.
I probably wouldn't have
Yeah.
wanted to either. And then so Gregor beats this guy's ass, obviously, because he's got some weird. We were told a lion bit his arm off. Okay, I can buy that. What the hell actually did happen to his arm? Like,
I think he just got mauled. Yeah.
so he can't clip a fucking fingernail with his arm
I
being
think
mauled?
this is where they then set the plan in forth of like, well, we'll let everyone know that you only have one arm now. You have this beast that you brought back from Africa. We'll, raise it. Then you can start to use that to terrorize the king and his people.
And that's cool. But man, I gotta say, I laughed and went, "Fuck you," at this guy's death scene. Because after Gregor kills him, he's writhing in pain and he turns to his side and he raises up the messed up arm and then tucks it back behind himself and dies.
Well,
I
that
was
way if
like,
they find his body, they're like, oh man, it wasn't him. He only
he
has
still
one
doesn't,
arm.
he
The
doesn't
bad
have an
guy had
arm.
two.
I was like, fuck you for that. That, like, if you want to be even cooler, Gregor should have cut his arm off just before he died.
Oh, that
Like,
would have been cool.
In the
That
sword
would've been
fight,
better.
literally
would've
make
been
him lose
sweet.
an arm. But the dude literally like curls up like a fucking bug you killed
Wait.
outside, and it just. I was like, no.
Did he fight with that extendo sword with his gnarly hand?
Yeah. No, he
Oh,
was
yeah.
using it the whole time. But doesn't bring out the badass gun he had at the beginning of the movie.
Right. You could have had the double barrel sword.
I love that gun, man.
Yeah,
It's just
that-
so he
that
could
was
fire it
cool.
one armed. The stock of it curled around his
around his-
forearm
his,
to his
his
bicep, which
bicep,
looked
yeah.
like a ram's horn, which I'm guessing is what
Yeah.
they're trying to emulate.
Yeah.
It was cool as shit.
Yeah, it was.
Never saw it again.
Frankly, looks like it actually could work. I mean, that
Well, yeah,
It
I
was
mean, honestly,
used
I
for
think
hunting.
genuinely it looks like it could work. For a
wrap it
one-arm-
around your arm and you're good to
Mm-hmm.
go. So there's another part that absolutely unequivocally pissed me and Pete off in this movie. And we find out that MacGyver, mullet dude, is the one telling this whole story. Gregor and the sister.
Are you you're doing that? Okay. Go
Yeah,
for
they
it.
they
Please.
apparently, even though we don't see her revive, we're told they revive, they go to Africa, they're living out their lives. This guy the whole time is aged, which we saw at the very, very beginning of the movie, I think, was we saw this guy
Yep.
talking.
Okay.
He's our
And
narrator.
he's our narrator,
It was
and he
2.5
starts
hours earlier. I don't remember anything.
right. I literally had to go, oh, that's right. I remember that face. And he starts walking down the steps, and all his servants are around, and they're like nodding. And then the camera would show like there's people protesting outside, like pitchforks and torches. He's walking down the steps. He's telling the story of how Gregor was a hero, how he helped this hero, how he saved the people. All his servants are like, very somber, like, thank you, sir, my lord, whatever you want to call it. There's angry people literally outside of his door. You see him through the door. He walks outside and they drag him away. And all you hear them say is, hang him, burn him, kill him. And you never hear anything else about it. Like, am I supposed to know something about French history to know what that was all about?
I think it was part of the French Revolution. I think that's why he showed us this movie.
The French Revolution was a nasty time.
I'm sure it was, but this guy was literally talking about being a hero of the common people.
Yeah, the French don't really care, man.
They pissed me off so much.
Yeah,
you were a hero of the common people, and then as your
he did something bad.
Continued, you became a piece of shit, and your people revolted and pulled you out of your Bastille and hung your ass because you're a terrible person.
I couldn't figure that out. And also, on reflecting on this movie, I was going, well, why did they pick the people they killed in this movie? What did those women do so badly? What did those kids do so badly that one-armed bandit killed them? Like, they had no political power. They were merely peasants. Aren't they the people of the peasants?
They were some sort of a vassal. The folks that owned and trained the lion, they were a vassal of some sort. They were part of the aristocracy.
But they're the ones handing out the books. They had stacks of the books.
None of it made sense.
In the headquarters.
What is the end game here? Are you training this lion thing to kill people reading these books? If they were peasants, they probably couldn't read anyway.
Oh, I think it was to make it to where the king can't protect you. But this book will protect you.
No,
I don't. And then
what was the purpose of the monster?
Well, see, I started getting mad at the end of the movie because I went, where's the fucking lion? Like, okay, now everything's fine and done. Have we forgot about it? Well, they don't do that till the very, very end after he kills the main bad guy. And I'm like,
he goes back and puts the monster.
Because the monster,
he gets that moment of looking in its eyes and stuff. But I was like, this monster is literally just a waste. It's a waste of an entire thing.
It was dying from the predator traps.
Yeah.
And they put it out of its misery. But it was.
But
the vehicle for
I
the
felt
horror
bad for it
bullshit.
by the end.
Yes.
I mean,
obviously I was bad for it.
As soon as you saw that it was a creature under armor, I immediately felt bad.
That it was being tortured. Because
they're clearly being tortured and manipulated.
They lead up to that with the dog fighting too, because the dogs are obviously innocent in this too. And they're making the beast, which is kind of dumb. You're training this thing to kill people, which is the whole opening of the cave. Yep. All those things are ways that they've been training this beast.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, then if it's that badass, why are you making it fight dogs? That's just
why are the dogs
cruel?
Chained up. This thing is armored. And you have 3 or 4 dogs that are chained. I was
totally let down by the creature in this, man. I really gotta say. So, all right, we'll continue this as we get into our things. Let's get into some blood.
Oh my God! So is this historical? No, this is just cinematic.
Kind of.
Okay.
Very loose. Basically, the revolution's the true story.
I
there was, in fact, something that killed people.
The legend is that like over 150 people were killed in like a 3-year period or something.
So there was speculation of a creature. They do, to this day, think it was a larger wolf. Yeah. And they also believe it wasn't just one, but like a pack. And there was a record of someone killing a wolf and finding human flesh inside of its stomach.
I did read all that, and it's a fascinating legend.
Oh, I would actually like to read the actual, like, what what this events are based off of.
And what this does is just let's take a bunch of genres, throw it together. And,
it is.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's a very let's make an entertaining piece, I guess you could say.
Entertainment loosely, but the part that we like to talk about the most about our entertainment is how many people died in this movie, and it's not small. It's 40 people die in this movie.
Gregor Manny,
Wow,
clean house.
That's more than between the creature and Manny. I think Manny killed and Gregor at the end.
Yeah, when Gregor went on his rampage, he definitely got a lot of people.
Yeah, he got a lot of people.
But you know, there's like just indiscriminate violence throughout. You know,
So you didn't count the hundreds of wolves that were slaughtered.
No, and that scene really bugged me, man.
It was
to actually see it
horrifying. And
obviously they didn't actually do it, but I just meant the way they depicted it. I was actually like, damn.
Right.
It reminds
And
you of like the fox hunts and shit that I do not support.
That was the first part of CG. I went, oh no, this is going to be terrible. Because
it just looked like cutout pictures of wolf heads.
This one looked this way and this one looked that way, and it was just.
But it's like the way they would make the bodies flop. Like
well, when they were doing the props,
but that scene, that was really good. It was really good body.
He's talking about the scene where the camera's kind of panning and it's supposed to look like a mountain of dead wolves
in a pile of.
It's
bodies.
like 3 different wolf heads, and they turn them around in different positions.
They're just flipped back and forth.
I was waiting for it to go South Park on me, and one of them go, "Hey, buddy, what are you doing over there?" But yeah, 40.
It's got a gun.
It's coming right for me.
It's coming right for me.
So I'm gonna do kill of the week. I guess there's some to pick from, but I know what.
Dude, there's so many to pick.
Oh, I know it.
There's in my mind there's only one pick. Yeah.
All right, well, Charlie, you go first.
I want to say I think Pete is going to agree with me, and it's the first girl at the beginning of the movie.
The Jaws scene is the best.
The
scene.
ragdoll girl on the boulder.
Charlie, you said it best. I was fully invested after
I was.
Because I'm like, let's go, game on. 2.5 hours. If you got 2.5 hours of Jaws, I'm down.
This was it. This the level I'm like, because I don't actually see the monster. I hear the monster. It does like the vision, through the monster's eyes, and her death is brutal.
The ragdoll description is not. It's exactly.
It's the only way to describe it. She is flopping.
It's wonderful.
And it's not. It's not really a dummy either. I know there was probably a dummy used at certain parts, but there's a stunt girl getting whipped around really hard. She had whiplash at the end of this movie.
I would think
there's
so.
no doubt about it.
She woke up sore the next day, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I knew that was going to be ours. Nate, which one are you picking, bud?
I'm going to go with when Gregor has the arrow that's on fire and shoots a dude in the forehead.
Oh, that
was
it's
cool.
so good.
Yep.
He's catching stuff on fire, and they're running around trying to put it out. And this dude just turns around, sees him, and boom,
and he's
arrow in the forehead.
Yeah.
There's one where Manny cuts a guy's Vega arm off and then throws the Vega arm into another person.
Yeah,
that's great.
Was I the only one that was just like, I want a moment of Manny picking up 2 Vega arm gauntlets and putting them on?
God, if Manny would have got 2 Vega arms, the movie would have been over right there.
That would have been bad. He'd have been just spinning around like Cyclone and He-Man. Just shake.
Cyclone and He-Man. Wow. Deep cut.
Deep cut.
No.
Well, gentlemen, we gotta rate this bad boy then.
Oh, this is
so guys, it's okay. He just wanted his machete back.
He just wanted his spinning swords back. Oh man!
I kind of want to know Pete's first.
All right, I want to go first anyway. Go first.
Yeah.
Boy, this is a beautiful movie. It's well acted. The costuming is gorgeous, minus the CG monster. I think the special effects are pretty good.
Yeah.
The fight scenes are great. It's 2.5 hours long. The CG monster is really bad. I'm not sure exactly what happened through some of the story. They tried to write a nice story. Sorry, gang, I can't recommend this. It's a 5. I cannot recommend this movie.
Pete's wrong. Right out the gate, wrong.
We have described this movie very well tonight. So if any of this interests you and you have the time and wherewithal to sit down for a 2.5-hour movie, you might be entertained.
If you enjoy period pieces, this is definitely a watch for some
love
people.
all that shit. I love period pieces. I love old shit, old new stock, so to speak. But man, this was just, I had a hard time being entertained by this movie because of all of its flaws, even though it was well done, I suppose. I'm so conflicted.
It's so
5.
difficult.
It's 5. It's a movie. You make your decision.
This
not gonna make
motherfucker
a
will
decision
give
for you.
Leprechaun a higher score than Brother of the Wolf. I hate him.
I was more entertained by
He's dead to me.
Leprechaun in space than Brother of the Wolf. I promise you that.
Charlie,
I'm the only one though.
what do you got?
Oh God, man, he's not wrong on any point.
No, you're
Because-
both wrong.
In that tone of your voice, I don't think you think we are. Okay,
No, you are.
I'm not even going to sit here and throw in, jabs of like my love of, Steel Dawn and you shitting all over that movie.
You picked a bad movie, a very, very boring bad movie.
Boring. I
Hey,
think we've.
That was an hour and a half
one.
that felt like 2.5 hours.
Mine was still only an hour and a half.
We had 2.5 hours. That felt like 4.5 hours.
No,
I look at a movie and I go, man, what would I change? God, there's so much I would change.
Yes.
I would ditch that CG monster in a heartbeat. I would make it
we all
more, I would make it. It's a big part though. It honestly, that's a pretty big part of this
Even
movie.
in 2001, you can do it better.
I could definitely get this movie down to an hour 45. Fine, call it Americanize it, but man, I could make a kick-ass action, mystery drama. I'd actually give us a red herring in this movie. It's just too fucking long, and I got bored, and then it would try to bring me back, and then I'd get bored, and it would bring me back.
It's the biggest dick tease.
Mark Dacascos and the acting. The visuals are badass. All of the acting's amazing. But I'm going to give it a 6. I'm giving it a 6. I'm a little less pissed off than Pete, but
I don't think I'm pissed off. I just there was so much good. There was so much bad.
It was just diluted by the bad.
Like a 6.
No, it's not diluted by the bad.
I think I would, if I know someone well enough on their taste and they go, hey, I've never seen Brotherhood of the Wolf. And I'm like, okay, well, you like, some period pieces. You like some decent storytelling.
Yep.
Maybe check this out. This might work for you. But I would also look at them and go, please don't judge it by its CG monster.
No, do not.
Fair warning.
That's unfair. Yeah.
Ignore the CG.
Well, let
Yeah.
me just crack my knuckles.
I didn't hear that.
Let Big
I heard
Papa come in and just save the day. I'm giving this movie an 8.
Oh God.
Whoa!
Yeah, this movie is awesome. You have an amazing story of two friends that are brothers.
Oh, it's awesome.
That are together as a pack. The 2.5 hours did not bother me at all. It flies by.
Oh God, no.
Because it is entertaining as all get out. The costume pieces are incredible. The set designs are incredible.
Yes.
Yep.
The action is awesome.
Yep.
When it happens, yes.
The idea of this monster is awesome. The last third act is nothing but action because it's a revenge piece at that point.
No. Don't forget. The third act of this movie involves him dying and being resurrected. It's not all action.
That's 5 minutes.
No, it is way longer than 5 minutes.
Not that long.
15
They
minutes of
bury his ass in dirt.
Yeah, it does not take that long.
You remember how I timed Steel Dawn? I will time this fucking movie.
There is so much stylized camera action set pieces where it is truly amazing of what they pulled off cinematography wise.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
No argument here.
We're not
a
so
story
far,
of a cult trying to take over the France, like countryside.
The France.
Us.
They're going to take over the France. Stop
Great.
them before they take over the France.
We're getting to the France. I watched this movie with a big old smile on my face, entertained, and just amazed. And on top of that, like we said, the dub version actually has good dubbing. Like that's not
Except for the girl. Please go back and listen to her.
I need to go back and listen to her. I feel
Cover
like
your
she's normal.
eyes and picture who is saying the words. Because if it ain't B. Arthur, I don't know who it is.
But I truly do believe this is a cult movie, not a horror movie. I learned my lesson on that one. That's bad memory on
You
my
already
head.
had a big ding for me and Pete when I'm watching this going, the beginning horror movie.
Mhm.
Yes.
I remember the scene of the girl in the pit trying to get out of the mud
Yeah, that was
and just
that
stuff
was
like that.
harrowing. Yep.
For some
It
reason,
was
I felt
harrowing,
like-
but I wasn't. It wasn't horror to me.
but
It
in my
didn't-
head, there was a lot more of people being hunted by the monster.
maybe they
And
should
then
have
when
shown.
when the monster showed up, I was like, I do not remember this CGI being that bad. I am not going to ding it for CGI being bad for 2001 because it's 2001
I am because
and it's not a Hollywood movie.
They had a perfect practical effect at their disposal.
That's the strange part too,
and
because
if
it
yeah.
wasn't just a practical effect; it was Jim Henson's workshop.
yes,
Yes.
so
That's
I
so weird to
will
me.
I will ding them because they had what they needed at their disposal.
I'm also not
They
going to ding
chose
because
to
this
use it.
director had not made a movie since '95, so film itself had changed a lot.
Well,
from
he
95
should
to
have
2001.
never even tipped his toes in CG then.
Exactly.
I'm
If he's-
telling
if
you,
he's
that's
used to
where
95, he should have been
2001,
using nothing
everyone
but
went,
practical effects.
Computer is our best friend. We will use it.
Oh,
Boo.
Everyone
Boo.
fell for it.
Boo.
right.
Boo.
In the day, though, watch Brotherhood of the Wolf. I think it's great. I think we definitely butchered the hell out of retelling its story.
Because I ain't got 2.5 hours to explain.
No, it's because none of you fuckers took notes. That's why.
Oh,
When do you- how
Steve,
often do
deer
you
in the
take
headlights
notes,
on
Nate?
both of you.
How
Do
often do you
over
take
here?
notes?
Do you want
you
me
have
to
to
describe this movie to you? Do you want me to go back all the boring parts? Because I do know the boring
I
parts.
don't think they're boring. I
Because
think
Charlie
it's all
watched the
entertaining.
movie.
You don't think they're
That's like for you
boring.
to be like, "Ooh, it doesn't have that much action." I'm like, "There's Manny's kicking ass nonstop, left and right."
No, it's not nonstop. They literally had to go, oh shit, we haven't used him in a while. Let's throw in a random
No.
fight.
Random fight.
you-
He's
They
100%
forget
right.
his ass in the entire middle of the movie. He
Nah,
is nowhere to
so-
be seen. He
Yeah.
is not where he's not with Gregor when Gregor goes, I'm looking at this giant fucking map and I'm drawing arrows. Hey, what's in the center where I've drawn in the center? Oh, well, that's just this big training
I just
facility.
know there are more people that agree with me than they will be with you two. That's all I know. I know it in my heart, in my deep down in my
boy.
heart.
You do.
That might be true because if you get people to watch this, they're on your side. If people watch it because of my review, I'm like, hey man, that's on you.
He wasn't in the movie in the middle because Gregor has to go and fight people and he's nowhere to be found. Then all of a sudden he shows up when he's on the ship. It was like, where the hell's Manny been this whole time? Oh yeah, we forgot Mark Dacascos went and filmed a whole other fucking movie in the middle of this
Now
one.
you're making up stuff.
And then he came back and he's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm an Indian. I'm going to go film this
I
movie.
think
I
this
gotta
is
put
a
this
very
cool wig
cool
on.
and different type of movie because you do not get
Yes.
a period
Yeah.
piece that has this type of action,
You're
this
not
type
wrong.
of horror
You're-
mixed
you're,
in.
You're saying it right.
I think it's
just
a very
th-
unique and
this-
cool movie.
this movie could be done
That
so
you
much better.
we have agreed with you with 90% of what you said. We're just saying that your
The
number's
10%.
way too high.
It's really
Nope.
bad.
No, it's fun.
If you'd have said a 7 or 7.5, I'd even be like, yeah.
I was originally at a 7 halfway through the movie, and as it kept going on, I just kept being more and more entertained and more delighted and big smile on my face. I went, nah, this is an 8.
No,
I-
you're
I-
sitting
I-
there going,
2.5 hour
Charlie
movie.
and Pete are going to be so pissed off at me. I'm going to have so
No,
much fun on this
no.
episode. That's exactly why the extra points there.
No, that's not at all it. I always lock my
You
answers in
knew.
before we even
You-
record. I lock them in.
you fucked up.
I
and
don't care what anyone ever says on the podcast because my grading, it stays the same. I don't go, you know what? You two dumbasses made a lot of good points. I'm actually going to lower my score or I'm going to raise my score. I'm locked in, baby. I'm always locked in before we start.
Wow.
You guys, I'm not joking. I literally just edited Dead Snow 2 yesterday. Yes, he just did this same exact rant in Dead Snow 2 that I'm sitting here going, what is happening right now? I am literally
one trick pony. I only have one argument.
It's on a little cue card he tapes to his computer and he reads it off when we argue with him on what he likes.
No,
I'm not lying.
About
I
other
almost
people
want to
that go
grab
like,
that
you know
and
what?
play it right now.
This was a very intellectual conversation that's made me decide of what my score should be. Fuck that. I already got my score locked in.
Digging his heels in. All right, well, Mr. Lock my score in. It's time for trash review.
Trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring, and then I start eating garbage. And then
replay the podcast.
And I the guy on the head.
Oh, that's going to be a disaster.
It's French. It was. All right, Nate, what's...
So this comes from October 6th of 2022.
Okay.
A 1 out of 10. Devaney gave this bad beyond all hope of redemption. What an awful movie. It was simply a gore/shock fest. How can a movie be described as entertaining? 2002, remember, people think differently. How can a movie be described as entertaining when it boasts brothel scenes, animal cruelty, gratuitous violence, and incestuous rape? Little did they know that when Game of Thrones come out, everyone likes all those things.
Right.
All of that's in Game of Thrones.
All of that is in Game of Thrones. Everyone loves
Look
it.
up this reviewer, see if they did any sort of review on Game
Yeah,
of
when
Thrones.
they've discovered Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
like, no,
This is
Brotherhood of
awesome.
Wolf, what have you done?
I love incest and animal rape. I mean, incest and animal death.
Pete,
And
Yes.
I don't want to clip that, okay? Don't say shit like that that makes it too easy for me to clip later. I
you'll
love
never be able to
incest
run
and
for office ever.
animal-
Pete running for mayor
Make your
of
job
whatever part
easier.
of Columbus he's in. I like incest. And you're like, well, that guy can't be mayor.
Hey, are you done with this review?
No, I'm not.
Well,
And
continue,
as if all
dumbass.
that ridiculous crap wasn't enough, the plot is lame, the special effects are laughable, and the camera tricks are beyond annoying. This is a movie with nothing going for it. 11 out of 26 people found that helpful.
Where's
11 out
your
of
people
26?
now,
Oh.
Nate? There's
So
more people that back me up.
I still
There's
got more
11.
people
I've
backing
seen
me
this
up.
movie.
Out of 26, 11. So
I
mathematically,
disagree with this person's review because there is redeeming value
There
in
is.
the movie. There are some really good things about it, which frustrates the hell out of me.
Look, guys, I
because I just didn't
purposely
like it.
pick these shorter ones that are dumb because I don't want to read 18
The
paragraphs
shorter
to
movie.
you guys.
This is not a shorter movie.
No,
he's
the
talking
shorter
about the
reviews.
Oh, whatever.
I
No.
can
No, he'll
give you,
pick a
I'd
2.5
rather you pick
hour
a
long
shorter
movie.
and a longer review.
look,
That's
guys.
not
I'm
a
not picking
horror
a movie
movie.
till April. All right.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nate's being benched for over a month now. So
Yeah.
April.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
no,
till
you,
April. I'm booked. I'm
you've
out.
got a March pick.
No, I
Yeah,
don't.
technically, yeah. One of them is yours because you threatened to quit the podcast if we didn't do it.
Yeah, I was going to quit
It's
the
true.
podcast if we didn't do it. So
That counts
was-
as yours then.
that was a full-on negotiation tactic there. If
That
there's
was-
ever
no.
a movie you want to do on a podcast and you think your two co-hosts aren't going to let you do it, just threaten to quit. That's the secret.
That's
so anyone
not
that's out there,
negotiating.
We
that
almost
has-
let you do it though.
That's not negotiating. That's a hissy fit. Okay.
no, that was clear and well tactical
That's a
negotiation. That's going to make sense come March. You'll understand. You'll be like, I get it. I would have quit too. We're like, I know. That's
so,
why I did
That's so many months away. March.
That's
yeah.
only two.
From when we're recording,
It's like-
Pete, it is
yeah,
not when
yeah.
this
Oh, wait,
episode
not that
comes
far.
out.
What is this? Oh, this is a January episode or something. Oh shit.
This is like second week of January. This comes
Yeah.
out.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is really weird, and I love
Yeah,
it.
it's a blast. So
I
if
like
you're
that I bring
wondering,
my version of Troll Hunter to the show, and I get yelled at, but Pete doesn't.
What's wrong with Troll Hunter?
Nothing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Go listen to Troll Hunter
It's good.
I didn't care for it. Anyway,
because he had to read
I was elected to lead, not to read. So finally, Charlie gets to take back control of the podcast for a little while. So our next 2 episodes are very special because it says the month of Charlie, the Charlie's birthday month. And the action one next week is going to be the only Sylvester Stallone's Judge Dredd. And I cannot wait to cover this movie.
Oh, God.
I'm so excited. And after that, I get to pick the horror movie for this month.
What?
And I am keeping it in the 2000 AD universe. And we are doing Hardware. Killer Machines, man. A lot of fun.
Never seen, and I haven't seen Stallone's
Never seen
Dread
it.
in probably 20 years.
If it's a fraction of the awesomeness that Chopping Mall is, I am down.
This one kind of gets brutal, guys. I think you're going to really enjoy it.
I am excited.
Well, the director lost his mind, so this will be cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like the background.
This is one of my picks when we covered Class of 1999 that Nate's like, I don't think you're ever going to top how I felt with this movie. It's so good. And I went, I will see what I can do. This was the one I had in mind when I was like, let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can at least equal Class of 1999 with this pick. So, and then after that, we are doing our 30th anniversary. 30th. Jesus Christ. We've been doing it this long. We are doing, and at the end of this month, we are doing our 3rd anniversary episode. 3 years of podcasting.
Boy.
And
3 years of arguing.
Yeah. Do I tell them what we're covering yet, or do I wait till Hardware?
Wait.
Well, it's
okay.
weird.
Wait till Judge Dredd.
It's so late. I don't know. Whatever.
Right. You're right. Maybe we'll change our mind before we actually start recording these episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, yep. But we are definitely doing our anniversary episode, and then I think we're taking a hiatus in February. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
taking
like
a little break.
Gentlemen. No, I have the list right here.
He has the list. It is going to be the month of Pete. Whew, and those of us that survived last February.
February is mine.
We became stronger
Macho
for
Man.
Yeah. The Lord never gives us more than we can handle. And then he gave us Pete.
I got rid of one after I read a few things about it and like, nope, we're not going to do that one. So,
okay.
I
was going to say,
did a little homework this time.
I was going to say that got you one time where you're like, maybe I should have watched this before I picked it for the show.
Yeah. I decided that I'm like, okay, we're going to try this one because this is a real horror movie. This is really disturbing. This is really, and then I read about it. I'm like, oh shit. Nope. Wait.
Oh,
I don't want to watch this movie.
More animal torture and incest, because I know that's what you're running on your platform.
I'll tell you.
That's what your political campaign is.
Pete 2024, animal torture and incest.
Yes.
And animal rape. Jesus Christ, he made it worse.
Oh shit.
I have no idea.
Well, I can't say animal incest because I'm not. Well, I don't know. I might be related to some animals.
That's our future congressman.
I don't know where this went. Oh my God! Look what you did, Nate. Oh my God!
You got me talking about February, and now it gets weird.
You guys, why I like Phil from a young age. That's all.
What is wrong? What's going on over there?
Oh, all right. Well, everybody wants to keep following this chaos. As always, you can find us over at Give Me Back My Horror Movies, the Facebook group, where sometimes we talk about horror movies. And you can also follow us over at Give Me Back My Action Movies, the Facebook group. We are both on Instagram under both of those titles. Nate runs the horror side. I run the action side. Pete just pops in from time to time under some weird name of good beers and some shit. I don't know what it is. Listen to the commercial I played. No, it's Good Beer, Bad Movie Night. We love it. We are also on TikTok. We are on X. We are on Threads. I think I'm still on YouTube. Still haven't checked the channel in a long time, guys.
I listen exclusively on YouTube.
Is that? Oh, so that's the one view we get.
I'm the one.
Pete's the one. And it's funny, every time I do play your commercial on the show, we get a copyright strike. I have no idea. we don't get dinged, but they just go, "Hey, you're using a copywritten song."
I have written consent to use.
I know
the
you
song
do.
in my promo.
They
Well,
haven't
I guess
dinged us.
YouTube doesn't have that.
They haven't dinged
Do they
us.
need it?
And
Should I give it to them?
they haven't
Just-
asked.
Just give them a piece of paper that says I can do what I want.
If something weird happens, just let me know.
Look, I don't think our 30-some subscribers are that worried about where we got a song from.
That's fair.
So, I don't put a whole lot of effort in the YouTube side of this anymore. Hey. I ain't got time for that. All right, boys, we got time for anything else?
No, I'm good. I'm
No, I
good.
think we're
I'm
good.
just
Yep.
getting ready. I'm warming up for February. We only got a few more weeks now.
Don't worry, Nate. We have time.
I have
time.
instructions
God,
for
I
one
need-
movie. I actually have a.
Am I
list
out of town?
instructions.
I need to be out of town.
No, none of you have any paid time off PTO. None of you have any. It's all gone. Pete's going to Japan. He doesn't have any for 3 years after that.
That's in April or March, April,
March or April.
somewhere. In
We
there.
need to figure that out so we can figure out recording
I'll figure it.
schedules.
Don't you worry about that. But I am going to Japan.
I
so.
do worry about it because you're going to forget I said anything by
I
the
am
time
not
this
going to
episode
forget.
comes out.
Who are you?
Exactly. All right, Nate. You want to get us out of here with the good word? Because I don't know what you're going to repeat
There's no
from
good
this
word.
movie.
Congratulations. If I had both my hands, I'd applaud you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay, that was
He said
actually
that.
a really cool line.
He said that a couple of times, didn't he?
Let's talk about how I get
Or was it
back
just
home.
one time he said it?
I think it
did
was just
the
the one
one
time, but
time.
it was so
Yeah.
cool. Because
But he
he's
has
not the bad
two-
guy, because the bad guy has 2 arms. He had 1.
Right,
I
oh,
was
wait,
totally
wait.
caught off
Listen,
guard
everybody,
from that.
I only have one arm.
Yeah, 14-year-old Nate. Mind blown. How could someone grow an arm? Also, I still don't know how he held it back. I think it was just like normal. Like I always thought maybe he
corsets
bit
are?
his elbow back the other way.
Corsets are terrible things. They're like
Yeah.
the devil.
And it was a
Nate,
dude.
of
wearing
course
a
that-
corset.
Nate, I don't.
They
believe that
bring
a
the
14-year-old
puppies up.
Nate could sit through. I don't believe that a 14-year-old Nate could sit through a 2.5-hour movie regardless.
There were
of how-
boobs with pasties on and corsets. That's
Boy,
why he
boy,
stuck through
boy,
it.
Charlie,
I pretty
you're
much
so right. You're so right, Charlie.
always am watching 2.5 hour long,
got a
3 hour
little-
long
you
movies.
got a
I don't
little
know why you guys
boobage
got a
here,
problem with
and they're
it.
like, whoa!
And then
You
there
just-
was like,
You fell asleep earlier for something else that maybe we shouldn't talk about.
I fall asleep during everything. That's my secret, Cap. I'm always tired.
and then we got a shot of full bush in this movie too. That really
You
kind of caught
do.
me off guard.
What?
She was a
Oh, I missed
redhead.
that.
French